Hi babies, welcome to part 3 of how does survival mode show up in the root chakra. Today we are going to take a look at support and how survival mode operates in this part of the root chakra. Now, let's look at our definitions. Support definition is to hold up, assist, or provide a foundation for someone or something. Now, what is the opposite of support? Abandon, right? So cease to support or look after someone to desert, right? Or we could also look at the opposed definition, because when we don't have support, we feel like we have opposition, right? So the opposed definition is going to be like disapprove of or attempt to prevent. Now, what does this look like in our relationships? Well, abandonment and opposition can look like clinging too tightly, pulling away first to avoid being left behind. That's the abandonment portion. The opposition can look like turning disagreements into emotional battles because differing opinions feel threatening. How does abandonment and opposition show up in our finances? Now, this could look like, so abandonment would look like overworking or financially overgiving to feel needed, valued, or secure. Opposition could look like resisting guidance, support, or opportunities because receiving help feels uncomfortable or controlling. What does this abandonment and opposition look like in our health? This can look like, so abandonment would be neglecting self-care while prioritizing everyone else's needs first. Opposition would look like rejecting routines, advice, or healing practices because structure feels restrictive. Now, how does this show up in the you that is you? Abandonment would look like feeling empty or lost when you're alone because self-worth depends on external connection. Opposition would look like constant inner conflict where one part wants growth while another is resisting change. Now, super duper important to know that the you that is you, how is that experience affecting you, right? Well, when you're abandoning yourself emotionally, this is where you have a hard time staying regulated. You can't, I don't want to say you can't because everyone can, but let's say you don't prioritize emotional regulation because you are telling yourself you don't deserve it, you're not worthy, right? And so you say, well, this is just how I am, or I learned this from how I grew up. That is exactly how you stay caught in a cycle of abuse. But it's starting off, now that you are out of the abuse environment, it is your job to stop self-abuse. Because when we take abuse from others, then we tend to abuse ourselves when we're no longer in those environments. And that's how we maintain that pattern and that loop, right? And so then physically, when you're abandoning yourself, you're not taking care of yourself. And again, this tends to manifest in some amazing, incredible entrepreneurs, and I will say high performers at work, because you tell yourself, well, I have to come in early and stay late to get ahead. No, you don't. A high performer is going to perform high if they work 2 hours or if they work 10 hours because they're a high performer. That's your identity. That's who you are. You have it. It's in you, not on you. You know what I'm saying? So super duper important to look at that. I will see you in the next part where we talk about how survival mode shows up in our survival in these areas. I love you, babies. I hope you learned something today.